The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court says that he'll investigate the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi for crimes against humanity. Thousands of people are thought to have died after security forces targeted protesters in unrest which began last month. While forces loyal to Gaddafi seem to control large swathes of the western part of the country, the eastern part seems to be out of the leader's reach, despite his attempts to regain control. On Thursday, Gaddafi's forces launched fresh airstrikes on the strategic oil town of Brega, which is held by Gaddafi's opponents. Meanwhile, funerals have been held for the opposition fighters killed in Wednesday's battle. 14 were killed when 2 warplanes dropped bombs on Brega's oil terminal. Anti-government rebels now say that they've cleared Brega of government forces. So, as we reported, Muammar Gaddafi could face prosecution for war crimes by the International Criminal Court. The ICC's prosecutor at The Hague says that an investigation into deadly attacks on civilians could see other powerful politicians being indicted.
We identify some individuals with de facto or formal authority who have authority on the security forces who allegedly committed the crimes. They are Muammar al-Gaddafi, his inner circle, including some of his sons, who had de facto authority. But also, there are people with some formal authority that should pay attention to the crimes committed by their people.
Well, Hoda Abdelhamid is in the nearby city of Benghazi, also in the hands of the opposition, and a short while ago she gave us this update.
There is a hope that the International Criminal Court will go quickly in its investigation and come out with a direct indictment as soon as possible. People would like the International Court to look into a series of what they call massacres of the Libyan people during the entire era of Muammar Gaddafi, not only into what happened since the uprising began on February 15th. Certainly there is tension in the air. People are wondering what is the next step of the government. The fact that government forces have been clashing with the opposition only 200 kilometers away from Brega has risen the tensions here in Benghazi. A lot of volunteers are preparing themselves. Some have already taken the road to try to go and reach the fighting. There is certainly a feeling that at this stage, this part of the country, the east, must help the rest of the country to be liberated.
Well, the US president has had his strongest words yet for the Libyan leader. Barack Obama warned Muammar Gaddafi that the world was watching and that the violence against his people must stop.
The violence must stop. Muammar Gaddafi has lost legitimacy to lead, and he must leave. Those who perpetrate violence against the Libyan people will be held accountable. And the aspirations of the Libyan people for freedom, democracy, and dignity must be met.
Government officials from the Netherlands are, quote, in intensive diplomatic negotiations with Libya as they try to win the release of 3 Dutch Marines. The men were captured on Sunday by forces loyal to Muammar Gaddafi after they landed in the coastal city of Sirte. Dutch officials say that the Marines were trying to rescue 2 Europeans who've since been handed over to the Dutch embassy in Tripoli. Libya's embassy in The Hague remains under watch by police while the government negotiates the Marines' freedom. Awad El Faytouri is a Libyan political activist from the Libyan Information Center based here in Qatar. He joins us now. What do you make of what President Obama was saying earlier on? It's the strongest words yet we've heard, his condemnation of Muammar Gaddafi.
We welcome what President Obama said, but we hope for action, not words. And we hope for a quick action rather than, later action.
What sort of action are you talking about? Diplomatic action? Are you talking about military intervention?
Well, we have asked, and the opposition and the inside people, they have asked for a non-fly zone implication there. That would help. Gaddafi started using the Air Force now. The early days he used to using the helicopters. as we watch today, he used the fighters, and this is.
But to impose a no-fly zone, surely the first thing you have to do is to use military force. You have to destroy the Libyan military's capability, don't you? You have to destroy airfields, aircraft.
One of the experts said, well, this is what the American Defense Secretary said, but other experts, they said it's not necessarily. You could impose that without what Gates asked for. So there is 2 points of views. There is people who say that you can impose these without using the force. Why not? They can do that. If it is possible, yes, it is possible. No, why not?
Tell me something about the Libyan opposition. How cohesive are they? Are we talking about disparate political and tribal groups here, or is there some kind of cohesion in the opposition?
Oh no! To start with, this revolution, as it speak, there is no organized section or organized people, or it's just people who went to the streets and they started it. So there is no organizations there leading them, or parties or anything. But the people there, they are still united. Their goal now to liberate the West, Tripoli, and to form their so-called council or Congress, whatever.
Surely their task then is made more difficult. I mean, ultimately their goal is the overthrow of the regime. The fact that there's no political cohesion between them, it makes their task more difficult, particularly if there's no strategy for what happens if and when Gaddafi goes. I mean, are we likely to see, do you think, tribal fighting if the regime falls?
I think this is what the regime hoping for. There is no tribal fighting. There is no factions, as I told you. They never said their task is easy. They know what they're facing. The point is now, I'm not in the field there. The people inside who understand and live the situation. It's up to them to decide what. But from an outsider observer like myself, I think they should form an interim government now, because the outside world now they need somebody to talk to
and seek official recognition.
Exactly.
Yep, okay.
This is what I mean. Yes.
Right. We're out of time. Awad El Fitouri, many thanks indeed. At least 6 women have been killed by security forces who back Côte d'Ivoire's defiant leader Laurent Gbagbo. Witnesses say that the women were gunned down in Abidjan while marching in support of Alassane Ouattara. Ouattara is internationally recognized as the winner of November's presidential election. Bernard Smith reports now, and a warning that you may find some of the images in this report disturbing.